On studios on South Durango, Pawn Talk Live, hosted by the voice of the Las Vegas Wranglers, Dave Carney, and the owner of the world-famous Max Pawn in Las Vegas, Michael Mack. Call in at 257-5396. That's 257-5396, and find out what your valuables are worth from the top expert in the pawn industry. Now, Michael Mack and Dave Carney.
All right, here we are, Pawn Talk Live. Dave Carney, joined by Michael Mack, Chad Forster on News Talk 720 KDWN. And guys, we're actually still live from Exile on Main Street down here at 1007 South Main Street, basically just north on just north on Main Street of Charleston. So real easy to find down here off Charleston in Maine. The grand opening tonight at 6 o'clock. Michael, your new store down here got a lot of pub this week. Obviously, we saw the big story in the LasVegasWeekly.com showing kind of the inside look here of Exile on Main Street. But congratulations, sir. It looks fantastic. How do you feel about the store here on opening day?
Well, it's like, giving birth to my new little baby. And it's Max Pawn's little baby sister, I look at it. But really, this is a store of its own. It's right here in the Arts District of 18B, in the backing up. You can see the crowds are already starting to gather for First Friday, and they're closing the streets off. And what a cool store we have. We're on, I can't say we're on the northeast corner of Sahara and Jones anymore.
No, you can't.
We are down on Main Street in 1007 Main, and so we invite everyone down. Come down if you're a listener. And right behind me is a really cool motorcycle. We got Ozzy Osbourne's motorcycle.
That's right.
Chad, I want to ask, how many times do you think that thing was ridden sober?
Zero. I think zero. It's probably ridden 100 times, but zero sober, would be my guess.
The frame's bent.
That's a great
He wrapped that thing around a pole or two.
It's a fantastic piece, and this was something, Michael, you talk about Ozzy's bike, that was seen on one of History Channel's most popular shows, Counts Customs and Counting Cars. So really good stuff here. And that's just the tip of the iceberg down here, Michael. Obviously, that's a big-ticket item, that a celebrity drove. But when you take into account the rest of the stuff that you guys have here, there is literally something for everybody.
Well, it was a natural to open Exile with the partnership we have with Jesse and Roxy Amoroso from Cowtown Guitars. This is a rock and roll vintage store. It fit in with our needs because we are a luxury store and designer store, and they bring the coolness factor to the store with all the denim and rock and roll T-shirts and just really, this is not a thrift store. Let me tell you that right now. This is a boutique vintage store, and we have Chanel and Louis Vuitton, and we have really cool silver jewelry. And we're going to have a lot of fun tonight. Sailor Jerry Rum's sponsoring part of our event. We're going to be pouring some drinks. The Sailor Jerry girls will be down here.
I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah. I think everyone is.
Yeah, and I think if Sailor Jerry was alive, he couldn't be more excited than I am about that right now. Okay, let me tell you what.
Or is drunk.
Well, listen, I'm not drunk yet now, but I will be, and I'm already wearing my party shirt and sandals for this. Okay, so I can basically spill.
But I'll tell you what, Sailor Jerry has a cool line of clothing, and we are one of the distributors for that. It's First Friday. This is, it's going to be a hot night out there. Dress cool, but we're going to be pouring cold drinks down here. Plan to get down here early. We open at 6. This is our grand opening. Get down here early because this place is going to be a zoo for First Friday.
Now, you mentioned the motorcycle, but there's a couple other big-ticket items here, including this Porsche Speedster right behind me and that 69 Plymouth Roadrunner. Are all of these for sale?
These are all for sale. These are from our good friends at Celebrity Cars out of the Venetian or the Palazzo there. And a few of the assets that they brought a Plymouth, is that a Challenger?
69 Plymouth Roadrunner.
Roadrunner. And, of course, right next to us is this beautiful Porsche Speedster. Now, I just found out that this is a replica, but I'll tell you what, it looks like the real thing all the way down.
Here's the great thing about this 1958 Porsche 356 Speedster replica. Okay, it looks brand new, vintage car, classic, and you can buy it for under $390,000. It's only $28,000. So if you have got some money, but not all the money in the world, you can actually afford this car, Chad. And I know you've been saving up for a car just like this one.
Well, and not to sound sexist or anything, but she's not going to know that it's a replica.
No,
she's going to say that's a cool car and jump in. And that's all that matters.
I'll tell you what, as soon as you take that sticker out of the window, it's
you don't know.
That's right.
It's a Speedster, and it's a 56.
That's right. No, it's such a beautiful thing. And you mentioned, too, the Roadrunner out there, Chad. Now, we think of Roadrunner, and not a lot of people get the exact mental picture here. We think of its cousin, the Charger, and then what was famously known as
the General Lee.
The General Lee from Dukes of Hazzard.
1969 Dodge Charger. Well, this is a 69 Plymouth Roadrunner, which is the sister to it, kind of like, Max Pawn and Exile Main Street.
That's right.
Kind of similar.
Now wasn't there a particular car that was similar that had a bumblebee or something? What was that?
Super B. The Super B, yeah.
And was that a family member?
Yeah, that's part of the Plymouth Dodge family as well, yes.
Well, I'll tell you what, vintage is what we do down here at Exile, and I invite everyone down. And, we're going to probably be doing some things for Pawn Talk Live in the future, and I'm excited about a great show today.
Yeah, it's been fantastic so far here on News Talk 720 KDWN. Dave Carney, Chad Forster, Michael Mack talking to you from Exile on Main Street. Opening tonight, 6 o'clock, 1007 South Main, just off Charleston and Main Street. Now, guys, we're going to do this. We're going to spin a prize wheel here. We're going to take phone calls off air. And everybody that calls us today on Pawn Talk Live is going to win a free gift courtesy of Max Pawn. All you have to do is go down to the store, tell them you heard us here on the show, and they will let you dig in to the Max Pawn treasure chest. The number to reach us is 702-257-5396. That's 702-257-5396. Get your free prize. Enjoy a great weekend here because it is a really big weekend now, guys. If you're not into coming downtown to party, there's also something going on downtown tonight for the families. And you have got Las Vegas 51's baseball going on tonight down at Cashman Field. It is hat night down at Cashman Field. And if you're like me, you'll wear anything if it's free, okay? I love swag. I don't care where it comes from, who gives it to me. As long as I didn't have to pay for it, I am all for it. And if you go down to Cashman Field tonight, starting at 6 o'clock, the first 1,000 fans are going to receive free 51's hats. Great promotion. Get down to see the game if you don't want to come down and party downtown.
Well, and it's a little easier to wear 51 stuff now that they're actually a really,
good.
really good team.
They're a
Wally
very good
Backman's
team.
doing a great job there. And you know what? I'd sport a 51's cap anyway, but I would definitely sport one now because you know what? They're winning.
Well, and you know what I like about it, Michael, is even though, as we know, your brother is part owner of the Las Vegas 51s, and even though they're a New York Mets-affiliated franchise, they still wear the colors of the Los Angeles Dodgers, which makes it better for me as a Dodger fan to go get a blue and gray hat, something with a little blue, gray, and white, and I can say, yeah, it's the Las Vegas 51s.
And there's been some mention, if the new stadium is built in Summerlin, that the Dodgers affiliate, who was originally here in Las Vegas, are potentially moving their franchise back to Las Vegas if they were so lucky to get that.
Yeah, well, I mean, originally here it was the San Diego Padres, and then we changed to the Los Angeles Dodgers some years later, and have been affiliated with a couple of different franchises since the Toronto Blue Jays and most recently the New York Mets. But again, great stuff going on all over Las Vegas. There's also lots of fun things to do if you are a pet lover. Like Tammy mentioned, we have got Pet Appreciation Weekend coming up, so good stuff going on over at Chapman Dodge. But tonight it's all about Exile on Main Street. Come on down. Join Michael, myself, Chad from 6 to 9 p.m. down here. We are definitely going to be having a good time because, Chad, like you and I mentioned during Live Las Vegas, we're cabbing it down here to the first Friday festivities. We're going to be in good shape to get in bad shape.
I'll tell you what, that's the smart move. And, of course, we have the RTC. You can grab a bus. But I'll tell you what, I was in San Diego.
I wanted to get robbed, yes.
A week ago for a graduation, and I used the new service Uber. I don't know if you've heard about it, but it's worldwide famous, and it was awesome.
Guess what? An Uber cab guy in New York City just got arrested the other day for picking up a drunk woman, taking her back to the apartment, and raping her.
Fortunately.
That's an Uber mistake.
Yeah.
When you have unlicensed cab drivers, I've heard of this Uber thing, and I thought to myself, never in a million years. Now, I am glad that you made it safe, Michael.
But
that's a recipe for disaster, man.
It is a $10 billion cab company. The fastest growing company in the United States today is Uber. And what they did in Washington, D.C. Now, our experience in San Diego was flawless, and most of the experiences are flawless. They came out with a black sedan nationwide. They hook up with people. They train them. You have to have a car that's certified and insured. And you use the app on your phone. It shows you how far away they are. And within minutes, they're to pick you up. It's all done through PayPal or through your credit card, so you never handle cash. So if you're in New York City, they pick you up. You just hop out of the car. You don't because part of the fear is getting out, pulling your money out and everything. You hop out. the thing was awesome. So, the taxi authority here in Southern Nevada has pushed against it because they don't want that to happen.
Well, because if I'm to be understood correctly, Uber cab drivers are not actually part of the taxi cab authority. They're not professional drivers.
Well, they're not.
Which is
and that's the big push across the United States. But they're in all major markets now, and in Washington D.C., what they did is they couldn't get it on, so they started a Twitter campaign, and within weeks they beat it, and the cabs joined Uber, and they're doing this Uber drive across the United States. I'll tell you what, Google it because it's very interesting.
Yeah, it is very interesting, and I think you're going to be surprised the first story you see isn't a good one, but I'm sure it could be a positive experience to have. All right, guys, we got to step aside, take our first break here on Pawn Talk Live. When we come back, we're talking to Lauren Kaminsky from one of the most unique pawn stores in the entire nation back in New York, New York. Stay with us here on Pawn Talk Live.
It's 2:15 in the Kid on One Nevada Credit Union Traffic Center. You are slammed Interstate 15 southbound where you merge with 95 southbound. The ramp as you leave that 95 area onto 15 has really created a bottleneck there, and you're backed up all the way past the Spaghetti Bowl. So you might be better off using the surface streets instead of the Interstate 15 southbound there. South 15 north of Sahara, a crash. 215 westbound, that's east of Buffalo. Entries 8th Street at Wilson, Lake Mead at Nellis, and Rainbow at Sunset. For the Kid on One Nevada Credit Union Traffic Center, I'm Jim Dallas on News Talk 720 KDWN.
I'm Nicole Sanders, and I'm a cash call mortgage agent. I love my job because I do a ton of loans and save my customers a ton of money. Customers like Jim.
I figured I could refinance and save money, but I kept procrastinating. Finally, I called 866-590-CASH, and in about 5 minutes, Nicole told me how much I could save and how easy the process would be. Best of all, their fee was less than $500.
Because we do so many mortgages, we charge just $495 to close any loan, anytime. And our rates can be much lower than what you've got now, like today's 30-year fixed at 4.125% rate, 4.148 APR.
Cash Call is saving me big bucks every month, plus I pulled $100,000 cash out of my house. I should have called sooner.
I helped Jim, and I'd like to help you too. Call us at 866-590-CASH. That's 866-590-CASH.
Cash Call Inc. Equal Housing Lender. Call 866-900-8744 for terms and restrictions. Rates may change without notice. Department of Business Oversight, California Finance Lender Law License Number 6038780. NMLS Number 38512.
You hear a lot of talk about gold these days. What, with the stock market and more upheaval than tumbleweeds in a tornado? The world-famous Max Pawn is your gold spot in Las Vegas. Don't just send your gold into some random TV guy for pennies on the dollars. Go where you can see what your gold is really worth and get guaranteed market rate for your gold, silver, diamonds, and more. Come visit the world-famous Max Pawn in Las Vegas at the northeast corner of Sahara and Jones or online at maxpawnlv.com.
Now back to Pawn Talk Live with your hosts Michael Mack and Dave Carney.
And welcome back to Pawn Talk Live here on News Talk 720 KDWN. Dave Carney joined by Chad Forrester. Michael Mack will be back with us here in just a second. You can join us worldwide online at pawntalklive.com. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Catch up with some of the latest posts and tweets from at Pawn Talk Live. Also from at Chad Tweets Stuff.
Oh, it's good stuff there,
which
buddy.
is great stuff, a great follow. And you're climbing. You've got like 52 followers now.
I think I'm at 54.
54?
I gained a couple after
it was
that.
A big day.
After that tweet last night about LeBron James, which I can't repeat on the radio. But
the King Cramp?
That's cool. He's sponsored by, instead of Powerade, now it's Midol, from my understanding.
That's
He's got
right.
it for cramps. So hopefully he can make it back to game 2. I believe that is tomorrow.
Yes, no, it's Sunday.
He's got a couple days off.
That's right.
So hopefully his cramps are all taken care of and everything's fine.
Well, the NBA will make sure that whomever is out there working on the air conditioning is going to be good. Too bad they don't employ one of our favorite guys here from Las Vegas, Rebel Refrigeration and Air Conditioning, because we know they could have taken care of the problem in San Antonio in a heartbeat. But anyways, LeBron James, poor guy, cramped up, couldn't play, and Miami Heat dropped game 1. On the line with us from New York City is one of the most interesting pawn store owners in the country, Lauren Kaminsky. Lauren was out here in Las Vegas just a week and a half ago for the JCK convention, and she joins us here today on Pawn Talk Live. Lauren, thank you very much for being with us. How are you today?
Hi, I'm good. How are you? How's it going?
It is going fantastic. The weather is perfect. It's about 95 degrees, and it's going to be hot out. Yeah, well, in the shade, of course. You know, that's where we like to stay cool. And it's beautiful Las Vegas weather. How is it back there in the city?
It is gorgeous here. It's actually a really good day. I am walking through a park right now as I speak to you.
Well, we're jealous because it's going to be a warm weekend. I think it's supposed to get up to 107 this weekend. But, Lauren, you were in Las Vegas. Unfortunately, we didn't get a cross pass. But tell us a little bit about your experience at JCK. I know you were at the Couture and at the Estate Show. And what other things you got going on when you were in Vegas?
Well, it was great. So Couture was incredible. It was a selection of, for those who don't know, the best and the best in gold jewelry. I was actually out there with an initiative called Love Gold, where we really promote gold jewelry, the people wearing it, the designers making it, and just the overall beauty of yellow gold jewelry. And at Couture, it was definitely prevalent. You see the best trends and things that were really noticeable and stood out to me were ear cuffs, which sounds so silly, but they're these beautiful gold adornments for your ears. I know you guys probably aren't that into that trend.
No, we love it.
Not yet.
I like Barbie dolls, too, so just so you know.
And also a lot of statement pieces. So designers are now really getting imaginative with their gold designs, whether it's a thick gold collar necklace or bringing back the 80s and 90s trends, or even hand jewelry is really big right now. Great designers there. And then over at the vintage jewelry show, I could seriously I was only there for a day. I think I could have stayed there for 2 full days straight. It's just a treasure hunt. It's so amazing. And so many vendors there have their stories about gold pieces and where they came from. And that's just something that you can't miss at these shows, and really speaking to people that work with jewelry every single day and know where things came from, and the story about them is amazing.
Well, really you are. What's your name? Your gold girl or golden girl?
Yes, I'm the gold girl. I actually have a blog that's called Pawn on the Cob, where I write about all happenings in gold in the pawn world. Definitely check it out.
I love that.
Now, just so you know, guys, Lauren is hot.
Yeah.
And she comes out to Las Vegas. You know, there's only like 3 cute pawnbrokers in America.
You're not one of them.
I'm not one of them, but Lauren is one of them.
I'm flattered.
And, of course, Ashley, if she's listening, she's one of them, too.
Well, of course.
And Seth, you're one, too. You're one of the good-looking pawnbrokers. But and then Rick, of course, from Pawn Stars.
Yeah, right. Okay, so let me just tell you, Lauren, here on Pawn Talk Live, we offer a free service to the 4 hot pawnbrokers in the country. When you come out to Las Vegas, we usher you around in our private limos. We're kind of like Uber cab, but different and cooler. So if you were listening earlier, that's what we do next time you're out here.
So I have high expectations.
Excellent.
Now, let me ask, we were talking about Uber earlier. Do you like it?
I do. I think it's, especially in Manhattan and on a rainy day, it is a lifesaver.
Well, we were talking about it earlier, and I was in San Diego last week, and I just loved it and the convenience, and can't wait till they get it in Las Vegas.
Yeah, good luck there.
So Lauren is a pawnbroker. She's a multi-generational pawnbroker like myself. Tell the listeners a little bit about your background in pawn.
Sure. So my grandfather actually started as a watchmaker, and then he went into the pawn business in the late 40s, early 50s in New York City. He was one of the first pawn shops to be open. And a few years ago, my dad started his own company called Easy Pawn Corp. That was founded in '96. We currently have 13 pawn shops all over Manhattan, Brooklyn, and Queens. And recently, I guess about 2 years ago, we collaborated with a restaurant called Beauty and Ethics. So if you guys ever come out to New York, you must come to this restaurant.
I'm sold. I'm really going out there anyways. If I can do a pawn show out there and have a great meal, it's a total of 2 write-offs at one time, and I'm all about that. So before next tax season, we're going to New York. That's for sure.
Well, you have to let me know.
Lauren, Tammy told us a little bit about it. She was there, and she says it's more like a speakeasy. Is that kind of the feel you would describe it as?
Exactly. So you walk in. It's in the Lower East Side, and you walk in through this pawn shop, and they kind of play off on the vintage tchotchkes, but there's beautiful gold jewelry. And as Michael knows, the best deals are in a pawn shop. So you think you're going into this luxurious high-end restaurant, but you could actually snag some really good deals on diamond watches, and we sell probably a few necklaces a night. And it's great for the pawn industry. We tell people what we do. We don't actually make pawns there, but then you head in and the door opens, and it's this grand over-the-top restaurant. The chef is Chris Santos, which his food, I seriously wake up in the morning and I crave it.
So if I went to another restaurant and brought in a meal, I couldn't pawn off that meal to you in that situation.
You could
finance your meal.
I love to see what you explain to people.
You can finance your meal, just a small deposit of your watch, your ring, down at
Exactly.
at the Easy Pawn Club. They give you a coupon. You go up to the restaurant.
What would you give me for 2 foot of Subway sandwich over there? I mean, what kind of credit can I get?
Well, I'll tell you what, it's a cool place, and what you do for the industry, there's the young people like you and Seth, they're just burning what, our image has been looking for years and years in the pawn industry, and we appreciate what you do every day. And Pawn on the Cobb, and is it Pawn on the Cobb?
Thank you. Yes, it's www.pawnonthecobb.com.
So you need to follow it because it's pretty cool, and she writes some great articles, and she is the Gold Girl, and as well as when you come out to Couture and JCK. But I know that you also visited a very famous pawn shop when you were in Las Vegas as well.
I did. I was just going to tell you about it. I actually had the pleasure of getting to go to Max Pawn, and I got a great deal on a Louis Vuitton luggage bag.
Wow. So you bought something, too, while you were here. You're like, okay, yeah, this is hip enough. I can buy from Max Pawn as well.
So did you?
I support the industry 100%. I wasn't going to not buy anything at a fellow pawn shop.
Now, did you like the difference in the stores from the little store to the big store?
I obviously love the big store, and I think it's great. But even Michael, your small store was awesome as well. And I think that a bigger store is always better, of course. But the small store had charm, but I loved the way it looked, and your staff are amazing.
Well, not surprising that we
pawn shops in Vegas. That's where to go.
Well, if you're in Las Vegas, you're coming back for pawn. For the pawn convention?
Yes, I'll be there in July.
Well, you might have to come join us live on the set if you're here on a Friday.
I would love
to
that.
have you, and we might have to do something live because she's worth looking at.
Oh, I was going to say, and it's
do a meet and greet.
It's so
we're going to do a meet and greet with
It's so unsurprising to hear Lauren say that bigger is better when we think of pawn stores. Now, Lauren, we've got to wrap up here with 5 fast questions for you, and we're going to do this with all of our guest pawnbrokers. These are super softballs. So are you ready for our 5 fast questions here on Pawn Talk Live?
Ooh, I'm nervous. Okay, bring it on.
Don't be. First question, what is your favorite movie?
That's a hard one.
That's supposed to be the easy one.
These are the softballs. Now, we can get
so
tough.
Many favorite movies.
Just throw one out there.
I would have
E.T.
to
How about that?
say, what? A movie that I collect over and over again. Not necessarily my favorite movie, but like a movie that I'm having a bad day I'll put on would have to be Clueless. It's a classic.
Okay, Clueless, a classic. Never heard before in the same sentence. I'm going to mark that here as a radio first. Okay, second question here. Your favorite song?
I'm sorry, what's the second question?
Well, I had your favorite song. What's your favorite song?
These are the hardest questions.
Oh, my gosh.
Okay,
all right, we've stumped you. That's it. You lose.
I have an answer for that one. That's a good question.
Okay.
I was recently engaged, and my fiancé proposed to me to the song Give Me Everything Tonight. So that has to be my favorite song at the moment.
Awesome.
All right, there we go. Okay, we're wrapping up. We've only got a couple of seconds here left. Favorite food?
Beauty and Essex.
There you go. Okay. Favorite car? Could we say Gran Torino? Maybe a 56 Porsche?
I would say a 69 Plymouth Roadrunner
There
at this
you
point. 'Cause
go.
it's right next to me here.
These are such
And I'm gonna
pawnbroker questions. I don't know.
Man, this is much too personal. All right, well, I'm going to give you your favorite place to vacation as Las Vegas. Lauren Kamitsky, very good to have you with us today. And really an awesome idea for this whole pawn shop with the restaurant back there.
you.
As soon as we heard about
And
this,
come out
really.
to New York. Feel free to check out the blog and stay posted and check in with me. And I can't wait to be there in Vegas and meet you guys in person.
Absolutely. It's going to be our pleasure. PawnOnTheCobb.com is, of course, where you can go to find out more. Lauren, thanks so much for joining us
Have a great
today
weekend.
here on the show. Really good stuff here, guys. And, of course, that is a very unique take, Michael, on pawn back there in New York. Now, out here in Vegas, we're not quite as sophisticated maybe as they are in New York, so we don't get to do the restaurant plus pawn shop. But this Exile on Main Street thing tonight from 6 to 9 is going to kind of be like that because we've got Sailor Jerry girls coming down. You've got a little bit of food for some folks, and we're going to have, obviously, some deals and some specials here on some of the great stuff that you have down here. So this is kind of like our New York homage, so to speak.
It's going to be a lot of fun, and, of course, the grand opening starts at 6, and we've already had a few guests that have popped in. So if you do, just knock on the door, and we'll give you a quick tour. And it's Exile on Main Street. And our our email address is exileboutique.com.
All right, well, email your requests if you want to have them find something really cool. They can do it from around the world. Guys, we're going to step aside, take another look at traffic here on Pawn Talk Live. When we come back, getting on live with another icon of the pawn industry, Seth Gold from True TV's Hardcore Pawn, now in their 8th season. Guys, you're going to want to stick around for this. Stay tuned to Pawn Talk Live.
Whether you throw gutter balls or strikes, there's something for everyone at Special Olympics Nevada's Bowl for the Gold. The annual event will take place August 27th at the South Point Bowling Center, and all funds raised will benefit 3,200 athletes of Special Olympics Nevada. Registration is open. Go to www.bowlforthegoldlasvegas.com.
We are World Vision, and we believe in children. We believe in educating girls and women about immunizations, nutrition, and the healthy timing and spacing of pregnancies.
If you believe, visit worldvision.org/believe.
KDWN.com is your online source for local, national, and international news. KDWN Las Vegas, a Beasley Broadcast Group station.
AP Update, I'm Diane Kepley. A man armed to the teeth has been shot and killed after he wounded a deputy in Forsyth County, Georgia, outside a courthouse. This is Sheriff Dwayne Piper.
We're being very cautious because the amount of explosives and pyrotechnics that he had on him, we have to assume, since he had already moved out of his house some days ago, that he was booby-trapping the house, specifically anticipating law enforcement going there.
Not much is known about why Dennis Marks went to the courthouse, but the sheriff says he had been known to authorities for some time. Last year, he had filed a civil rights complaint against the sheriff's department, accusing it of using excessive force and illegal searches. The deputy who was wounded in the incident was shot below his knee and is expected to recover. The courthouse and nearby businesses were evacuated as the FBI, Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms and Explosives, and the Georgia Bureau of Investigation all investigated. They are looking for more explosives. AP Update. I'm Diane Kepley.
The news brought to you by Farmers Insurance. At Farmers Insurance, they believe the more you know, the better you can plan. Find your local agent at farmers.com or call 888-96-FARMERS. Brought to you by Farmers Insurance.
It's 2:32 in the Kid on Nevada Credit Union Traffic Center. You are slammed on that ramp leaving 95 southbound to go Interstate 15 southbound. And once you get to 15 south, you're bumper to bumper through there. You might want to avoid that and even take surface streets. 15 south, south of Silverwater Ranch, that one is new. Also 15 south, north of Sahara. So you're slammed all in that 15 south area. 215 west, east of Buffalo. Also 95 northbound, north of Snow Mountain. 8th Street at Wilson and Lake Mead at Nellis. For the Kid on Nevada Credit Union Traffic Center, I'm Jim Dallas on News Talk 720 KDWN.
Trying to understand a complicated subject like Social Security benefits? It starts with being educated about your options. So RJL Wealth Management is presenting a free webinar to help you learn more about how your benefits may fit into your retirement plan. Hi, I'm Rick the Professor Plum from RJL Wealth Management, inviting you to register for Social Security Summer School, Wednesday, June 25th.
Social Security Summer School, part of the RJL Wealth Management Educational Series and a special session of the Bucket Strategy Live webinar. The professor takes your calls and questions and helps you understand more about integrating Social Security benefits into your retirement strategy.
Social Security Summer School, Wednesday, June 25th at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 Pacific. From when you can take benefits to how they'll be taxed, we'll cover it all.
Registration is free and easy. Just go to bucketstrategy.com. That's bucketstrategy.com. Rick Plum, CFP, is a registered representative of and offers securities through Lucia Securities, LLC, member SIPC, and affiliate of RJL Wealth Management, LLC.
Attention homeowners. I'm Jay Farner, president of Quicken Loans, and I have some important information for you regarding the U.S. government's Home Affordable Refinance Program, or HARP. We've told you about HARP in the past, and more than 3 million homeowners have already taken advantage of this money-saving program. But there are so many more of you who could be saving hundreds of dollars every month on your mortgage. And Quicken Loans is here to help you save your money. The home loan experts at Quicken Loans fully understand the HARP guidelines. If you weren't HARP eligible in the past, new guidelines could mean that now you are. Give us a call and we'll give you a Quicken Loans mortgage review. It's simple and easy. And for 4 years in a row now, J.D. Power has ranked Quicken Loans highest in the nation in customer satisfaction for primary mortgage origination. Call 800-QUICKEN. That's 800-QUICKEN. Or go to quickenloans.com for a mortgage experience that's engineered to amaze.
For J.D. Power award information, visit jdpower.com. Payment example excludes taxes and insurance costs. For cost information, equalizing lender license in all 50 states. NMLS number 3030.
Now back to Pawn Talk Live with your hosts Michael Mack and Dave Carney.
And welcome back to Pawn Talk Live here on News Talk 720 KDWN. I'm Dave Carney, joined by Chad Forster and, of course, the owner of the world-famous Max Pawn, and now exile in Main Street here in Las Vegas, Michael Mack. Guys, great to be back here with you on Pawn Talk Live. And again, we've got our prize wheel spinning all afternoon long here for you. All you have to do to be a winner is join us at 702-257-5396. That's 702-257-5396. We'll take care of you off the air, and you'll have a free prize down at the world-famous Max Pawn waiting for you in the Max Pawn treasure chest. Coming back here to the show, though, guys, and joining us again, second week in a row, man. I feel lucky. It's almost like old times again. We have got the star of True TV's Hardcore Pawn, now airing Wednesday nights at 10 o'clock on True TV, Seth Gold. Seth, thank you so much for joining us again. I mean, I feel surprised we got you so quick.
Imagine that, talked to Michael a couple of days ago. Very excited about his new place opening up, so I figured I'd shoot you guys a call and express my excitement.
Absolutely. Well, Michael, I mean, I know you've got a ton of things going on down here at the store, but I mean, having Seth on, congratulating you has got to give you a smile because obviously, Seth, like we talked about in the last segment, you're such an icon in the industry, especially now. So, Michael, you hear that? It's got to give you a bit of a warm and fuzzy.
Well, I think he's just a kind gentleman. Most people don't know. There's people out there that think Seth's a big tough guy, and he fights with his sisters. He is a big, soft guy, I'll tell you what. Anyways, you're a loving guy, and I appreciate the kind words. And we just had Lauren Kaminsky on. You know Lauren from New York?
Yeah, absolutely. When I'm in New York, I check out their locations, and they run a world-class operation just like you do down there. So, yeah.
Have you been to her restaurant there?
I have not had a chance. I heard it's hard to get in. People like me, you gotta know people to know people to get in places like that.
Well, I'm sure you have no problem, Seth. But when you and I are out in New York together, I'm sure we could, muscle our way in. Give some pawn talk and get our way in the door somehow. But it sounds like a great restaurant, and Lauren and her dad David, they just do a great job. And we're all going to be out together here in about a month for the Pawnbrokers Convention.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. It's really exciting this year. A couple of new ideas floating across the line. So. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to hitting up Vegas and coming to your new place.
Well, I have to give you a public endorsement today because we officially are going to get the spectrometer. And so you got to tell the people out there what this thing does and what affiliation you have. But we got to prove today, and I think it's being delivered in the next few weeks.
Well, that's exciting because within the industry, you know that the old school way of testing gold is to use an acid test, of which it's really subjective. If you look for the darkness on the lines of the gold that remains, you can kind of tell the carat. Well, this kind of takes the guesswork out of it, so it allows your customers and yourself as the owner to have a better determination on the actual gold content that people are bringing in. Not to say that people are unscrupulous, but just because something's marked as a certain carat weight doesn't really actually mean that it's marked at that point. So, a machine like this takes all the guesswork out for you as the buyer and the consumer as well, so you can actually pay on the metals that are actually being presented.
I got a question for you guys here, Seth. How big is the profile of one of these machines, Michael? I mean, how large is this thing?
Well, they were very large at one point. They were a big kind of a gun, and then you have to put in gloves, and it's an X-ray machine. So, but it's gotten down to a tabletop model, which we've ordered. And the great thing, like Seth pointed out, is it takes the guesswork out. But lots of times when you take a piece of jewelry from a client and you take it over to the side and you're scratching it and you're rubbing it, they don't know what's going on, and they're a little uneasy because, this is their $5,000 bracelet, and you're scratching it. You put this inside the machine, and the way we have it set up at Max Pawn and also at American Jewelry and Loan, or Jewelry and is it American Jewelry and Loan?
Yeah.
In Detroit, the way they have it set up, you can see it in the pawn counter. So you can look through it, and you'll see your item, and you'll see the spectrometer. Now, like Seth says, a lot of people come in and they're not trying to dupe you. They don't know it's 12.5 carat. But the real misnomer out there is much of the jewelry that's made today is under-carated. And it could be 13.9. It could be 13.8. And when you're making thousands of gold chains and thousands of rings, you save a lot of money. So when we're taking the gold in, we're giving them exactly to the measurement. It's 12.8 carat. And then we give them the value and the dollar amount either on a loan or a buy to purchase. So I'm really excited about Seth, and I think the customer's got to feel good about it on your end as well, and the security that you're taking that care and you're not scratching their item.
Well, absolutely, and you'll often find where a chain gets repaired, and sometimes the jeweler will put a 10-carat class on a 14-carat chain. And someone might think that they're actually getting a 10-carat chain, when in actuality you put it on the machine and it'll read at 14 carats. So, it could work both ways for the consumer.
Well, I mean, what I like about it is, listen, I'm at the level where I like transparency across the board. I like it to be, pretty much wide open so that we can see what's going on. If I'm a consumer, going into a pawn shop and hey, listen, pawn shops, we know that they're a lot better than they used to be, but some people still have that, reservation. Hey, maybe this, guy's trying to hustle me. This takes the guesswork out of it. And right there in front of you exactly what you're working with. I think that's a very good thing.
So, Seth,
it's exciting. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. You are a spokesperson for this company, is right?
Yeah, so I linked up with Thermo Fisher about a year ago once I discovered their product. And it seemed antiquated when I first came in the business that most, if not all, pawnbrokers were using this old test. And I knew that there had to be a better option out there. And, of course, there's downfalls with everything. But rather than scratching up your customers' merchandise, I mean, this is pretty next best thing to the industry as far as evaluating gold. So, I couldn't be more proud to support this company. And ultimately, I think, Michael, when you came up to American Jewelry and Loan, you saw what it can do. And it's faster, it's easier, it's cleaner, and it's more precise. So why wouldn't you take advantage of it?
See, the other problem is that when we're dealing in acid, it could get on your hands. You put it on the item, you put it in your hands, and it burns your fingers. It turns it yellow. So you'll see a lot of old pawnbrokers with like kind of a yellow tint to their fingers.
I thought they smoked a lot of cigarettes.
They were dirty. Yeah.
But you know what? Thermo Fisher, Seth Gold, anyone who's listening out there, you're a buy and sell jewelry store. I get 10%. He gets 25% commission on every sale.
I wish that was the case. You need to renegotiate my next deal.
I'm helping. So go out and buy one. Mention that Seth sent you. And they'll take good care of you over there.
Well, Seth, let's transition here to talk about some of the other Gold family business, and that, of course, is True TV's hit show Hardcore Pawn, which has moved this season to Wednesday nights, 10 p.m. on True TV. Now, over the last couple of episodes here in Season 8, the brand new season that we're watching now, you guys have caused some dust-ups here, and there's been some family feuding. There's been somebody new introduced to this whole mix. And coming up this week, we've got an episode entitled Gold versus Gold. So first of all, walk us back through the last couple of episodes briefly, and then tell us what we can look forward to in this week's show.
Yeah, so my cousin decided, and it was her decision and my dad's decision to run the stainless steel department, which my sister wanted no part of until my cousin Karen came into the business. So Karen's around kind of, stirring up some interesting arguments with my sister. My sister feels threatened. So my sister last week decided to go buy a bust of my dad that a customer made for him. She spent $1,000 on it, literally $1,000.
Wow.
Like, what is my sister thinking, right? But in the end, my sister presented it to my dad as a gift. It was what it was, and it just so happens we sold that 2 weeks ago. And
no
we
kidding.
Lost some money. Yeah, so actually we lost a little bit of money, but we're glad to see it go because my sister way overpaid for it.
Oh, that's awesome.
Did you guys ever sell the painting of your dad?
No, that's still available on our website, pawndetroit.com. So if you want it, go buy it.
Hey, listen, if you can't get enough gold, there you can have a little bit of less gold looking right down at you. You know what I like about it, Les, is that for folks that don't have a strong father figure in the house, and we've got a lot of, kids out here without parents, you put a picture of Les up and he can scold you from the photo, from the painting, right? He can give you a dose of that right there.
Exactly. And actually, now that we're talking about the gold refining and processing that Michael was just talking about with the gold gun analyzer, that brings us up to this week's episode. And, we could be just as vulnerable as a customer without knowing exactly our gold content that we send into the refiners. And this week's episode touches on that. So I think you guys will get a kick out of it, so make sure you tune in.
Yeah, no, it's going to be awesome. It's always must-watch TV on True TV. And now moving to Wednesday nights at 10 o'clock, I got to tell you, it works out a little bit better for my schedule, too, because it's right in the middle of the week. And there, it's like there's nothing good on Wednesday but your show. I mean, so it's perfect.
Well, I appreciate that. Keep tuning in, and we are excited to produce more episodes for you guys.
Excellent, man. Well, hey, thanks again so much, Seth, for joining us today here. And remember, you can go to PawnDetroit.com and check up with everything that the Golds do 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and even buy inventory straight from their store in Detroit. Seth, thanks so much for joining us today.
No
guys,
Thank you, guys,
we're going to step aside. Thank you, Seth. Take our last commercial break here on Pawn Talk Live. When we come back, getting on with Jesse Amorosa, owner of Cowtown Guitars and also co-owner here of Exile on Main Street. Stay with us here on Pawn Talk Live.
And at 2:45 at the Kid on Nevada Credit Union Traffic Center, you're still stacked up as you transition from 95 south on to Interstate 15 southbound. You're bumper to bumper through that area. Also crashes 95 northbound at Rainbow, North 95 north of Snow Mountain. Also a couple of crashes on the surface streets working right now, Boulder Highway at Sahara and Cheyenne at Rainbow. For the Kid on Nevada Credit Union Traffic Center, I'm Jim Dallas on News Talk 720 KDWN.
Luxury shops in Las Vegas aren't new. What is new, however, is luxury meeting value. At the world-famous Max Pawn, we specialize in marrying the two. With some of the finest selections of watches, designer handbags, sunglasses, and more, the luxury never stops. Every day, new items are added in-store and online. From Gucci and Chanel to Hermes and Louis Vuitton, Max Pawn delivers all the top luxury brands at a fraction of the price. Visit us online at MaxPawnLV.com or browse our showroom in Las Vegas. The world-famous Max Pawn, where luxury meets value.
Hi, this is Greg from Jersey Electric, the largest residential solar installer in Las Vegas. We're changing the name of our solar division and launching a new website, which means big offers and more savings for our customers. Call 877-43-SOLAR, that's 877-437-6527 to hear more about our pre-launch specials. We're giving away Kindle Fires along with Sign Today, Save Today event. Don't wait for your PV system to be installed on your roof. Start saving money the day you sign your contract with us. Call 877-43-SOLAR, that's 877-43-SOLAR to hear more about our pre-launch offers. Our PV systems and finance options are custom designed for you and your home, making it quick and easy to gain energy independence. Fix your energy costs today by purchasing a solar system and protect yourself against NV Energy's rising rates by creating cheaper, cleaner power on your roof. Call 877-43-SOLAR. That's 877-437-6527 for your free site survey today. Check out Jersey Electric reviews on Angie's List.
Hi, this is Michael Mack, owner of world-famous Max Pawn in Las Vegas. You ever wondered what those valuables are worth? Had a pawn question but didn't know who to ask? I have the solution for you. Join me and Dave Carney every Friday from 2 to 3 for Pawn Talk Live here on News Radio 720 KDWN.
We hear a lot of talk about income inequality and how the government wants to fix it. Now you can fix it yourself. At AvengeSoftware.com, we're helping people start a new business to take control of their financial future. A new way to replace your job and retire early, all by working 2 hours a day. Call us today at 844-AVENGE-1 for a free trial. That's 844-AVENGE-1. And listen to our radio show, Avenging the 99%, on Sundays at 8 a.m. on KDWN.
Your news, traffic, and weather from AM 720 KDWN is now available on iHeartRadio.
Download the free iHeartRadio app from your app store to hear KDWN on your smartphone or tablet.
Now back to Pawn Talk Live with your hosts Michael Mack and Dave Carney.
And welcome back to Pawn Talk Live here on News Talk 720 KDWN. I'm Dave Carney, joined by Michael Mack, owner of the world-famous Max Pawn and now co-owner of Exile on Main Street. Chad Forster sticking around with us from Live Las Vegas. And now on the microphone, Jesse Amorosa, owner of Cowtown Guitars and partner in this Exile on Main Street venture here with Michael. Jesse, great to see you again. And I got to tell you, congratulations, brother. This store looks fantastic, unlike anything I've seen here in Las Vegas in really.
Yeah,
it's awesome.
It's cool. It's gonna be really fun. I mean, right now, let's see what we've got: vintage rock and roll T-shirts and a Porsche 356 in the store. So
how can you beat that? And don't forget
and Ozzy's bike behind you.
Ozzy's bike. I mean, talk about variety.
Well, it's a little bit of something for everybody, and not to not to go all, hey, listen, for my Father's Day gift, I only need the Porsche, because I could definitely settle for anything else in here. But Father's Day is coming up here, guys, on the 15th, so that's not this upcoming Sunday, but the Sunday after. And Jesse, when you look around inside of here, what you see is just about everything that screams guy cool. And Chad, if you had a man cave, or if your dad had a man cave and he was really into classic rock memorabilia, stuff even like Bob Dylan's famous picture out at the Isle of Wight concert, stuff they have right here in the store, it'd be a great thing to buy.
This would be the place to go. There's no doubt about that. And not to mention the cool cars that are here. You
That's
forgot
right.
the 69 Plymouth Roadrunner out there.
Yeah.
I have my eye on that. That's a nice car. I mean, this is kind of a man cave. That's kind of a good way of putting it.
Yeah,
in a lot of ways.
It is, but then
rock and roll man cave.
Then there's vintage high fashion Louis Vuitton and Chanel, and there's a little bit of something here for everybody, and it's kind of what we were going for when me and Michael started talking about
Well,
this.
what goes better in a man cave than hot chicks coming down with, really awesome stuff, right? I mean, so tell me how it's different here, Michael.
Well, it's interesting how Jesse said that's kind of how it all came about, because Jesse's had Cowtown down here for years, and he has a lot of people from all over the world, tourists, international rock and rollers from all over the world. They come in here. They typically come in with their wives or their girlfriends or their mistresses, and they're playing a gig in town. They got a few
Donald
girls.
Sterling, both. Bring them both.
So they come in and they're sitting around. And I was talking to Tony earlier. He's like, they burn their iPads out. They typically have to hook up their phones or their chargers because they're so bored. So we're going to have an archway coming through soon through Cowtown to Exile, but. It's going to be a place for everyone to shop, and I think Las Vegas has been long waiting for a really cool vintage store such as Exile.
Well, if you think about it, Chad and I talked about this last week on Live Las Vegas and Pawn Talk Live, Michael and Jesse, and that is the Attic, which was basically across the street, just down the road a bit, which is no longer open here in Las Vegas, was such an iconic place to go. And, Chad, you brought up a great point. I mean, the Attic was a tourist destination as well. It wasn't just a locals place. It was something where folks, who came to Las Vegas on vacation would destination themselves to. And I think this could be happening right here at Exile after folks get a chance to see what it's all about.
I mean, it's the number one shopping destination in the world now is Las Vegas.
Wow.
So, I mean,
didn't know that.
For us to not have a store that's the caliber of stores that are in San Francisco, Los Angeles, and New York is kind of almost a shame. We're up there with those cities now. We need to be.
We're running with
catch
them.
up a little bit.
Absolutely. So, what can we expect tonight at 6 o'clock with the grand opening? When the doors open?
Grand opening. There's going to be drinks from Sailor Jerry Rum. They're free. We've got Johnny Wickersham. Or a.k.a. Johnny Two Bags, who plays with Social Distortion.
I was going to say, as we all know him, Johnny Two Bags.
Yeah, he's going to be doing an acoustic performance of his solo record.
Oh my
that he just
God,
released.
are you kidding me?
Yeah,
oh, that's
a really
fantastic.
Good record.
Okay, we're here for that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun.
Wow. So, I mean, when you're talking, listen, Social D, and obviously, Johnny, fantastic guitar player. But anytime you get to hear these guys in some sort of an acoustic stripped-down set, it excites the heck out of me because you get a chance to really witness some of the virtuoso guitar players, at their finest. When you play an acoustic guitar, it's a different instrument. You just get to hear them so much differently. Michael, when you look at Exile on Main Street here, obviously, again, opening tonight at 6 o'clock, and you look at Cowtown Guitars, and then you look at Max Pawn, you kind of start to get the picture of the most high-profile stores in Las Vegas coming together to really unite. And what does that do for you guys, worldwide? What does this do for your web business together? How does this enhance you both?
Well, I just think it's really smart business. And, Jesse and I have been friends for years, and we became friends because Jesse goes to pawn shops and looks for great vintage guitars. And so that's how the relationship started. And then we collaborated together. The one great thing I think about Las Vegas is a lot of people feel that, other music stores or other guitar shops or other pawn shops were so competitive. And we're really not. There's so much business and there's so much you can do together. So, if I need a guitar at my pawn shop, I call Jesse. Or if I need to verify the authenticity of a guitar, I call Jesse. And, the same thing goes. So then this collaborated effort of mixing and blending, great retail together. And like you say, Las Vegas is a destination shopping hub. Jesse's world famous for being on Pawn Stars. A lot of people come see him. I call him my NASCAR driver because, when he wears a pair of sunglasses, he gets a Citizen watch. Everyone wants to know what Citizen watch it is. So we're having specially designed clothes and patches and hats, everything.
Max Pawn underwear. Yeah,
no, he's Exile.
Oh,
he's
Exile
baby.
underwear.
It's like, where can I get that beard? We also sell a Jesse Amoroso mock beard down
The
here.
beer
It's,
kit.
That's right, the beer kit.
It's made by Chia.
I like that. Just add a little
well.
water. Yes, it does. And, it kind of gives you that refined look. You know what I mean? It's like you're rock and roll, but still a little bit of business. I don't know. Well, listen, downtown Las Vegas, and, obviously we're located downtown Las Vegas today, 1007 South Main Street, just north of Charleston on Main Street. Tonight, the opening of Exile, 6 o'clock to 9 o'clock. Come on down here. Sailor Jerry's, Rum Girls, as well as some other great prizes and specials. I know Michael's always giving away stuff. So a lot of fun down here tonight. But downtown Las Vegas has really been growing up, like you mentioned, Jesse, as this whole Las Vegas thing kind of took a hit during the recession. We've climbed back out of it. We've got visitor numbers again in record territory. Our hotel occupancy rate is through the roof. And now the downtown hub, which in every major city is the true economic center of the city, is starting to develop around itself. This has got to lead us all to kind of think that we're not seeing a finished product here. No. We're seeing just the very beginning of what is going to be a continual evolution and really a redawning of Las Vegas.
It is. It's the first steps. I mean, Las Vegas was the fastest growing city for like 19 years. Fastest growing city in the United States. When I first moved here, I think there was 250,000 people in
1985. Oh, 88. Okay, there you go.
And there was hardly anybody here. And now there's over 2 million. So there's some growing pains. Everybody would say things like, "Oh, there's no culture here," and I'm like, "No culture here. There's 40 bands playing up and down the street. You can go see a Broadway show in Las Vegas. Yet, what other city has like 6 Louis Vuitton stores? And I mean, you have everything here. You really do. You have everything here. We just had some growing pains. It took us a while to catch up.
Yeah, and
culturally with everything else, as everybody likes to say.
Well, and as you guys both recognize, and I'm sure Michael even more specifically yourself, old perceptions have a hard time of being washed away. You talk about the pawn business, you talk about secondhand store business, and you talk about Las Vegas, and as guys that have lived out here for a long time, and Chad, I think you're probably the newest resident amongst us, and you're over 15 years into the valley.
1998.
I was going to say you're basically a local. You got 16 years in, but when you look at Las Vegas, I mean, there's still folks from around the country. You live in Ohio, you live in New York. You think that your kids go to school inside the casinos, and nothing exists outside of the strip.
People actually believe that.
They do, and this is a perception that is still breaking down very slowly. But Jesse, like you mentioned, with this being, which I didn't realize now, that the number one shopping destination. That really, that's really got to be a feather in our cap, because we've already moved up the ranks with some of the fine restaurants. But now the shopping thing, I mean, that puts us in line with L.A., New York, Chicago, San Francisco.
Think about it. Every casino's got a Rodeo Drive in it.
That's a great point.
You're not dealing with like one area. Every casino has great stores in it, and that's spreading throughout downtown. I could totally see Main Street turning into Melrose.
Well, listen,
real easy.
Would they still let us in if it turns into Melrose? That's the only question, man. I don't want to get ourselves.
There's some microbreweries.
There's a couple.
Yeah, big shout out to our friends down. We've got to see them, and maybe we'll see them tonight after First Friday wraps up down at Banger Brewing. Of course, one of the downtown projects. Fledgling bars down there, and of course the only brewery in downtown Las Vegas for now. Yep. I think we're going to be seeing exactly. We're going to be seeing another couple come up here real soon. Well, again tonight, 6 o'clock, the start time for the opening of Exile on Main Street till 9 p.m. tonight. You can enjoy free Sailor Jerry rum drinks. Of course, the Sailor Jerry girls will be out here. And if you're really up for a good idea or a bad idea, depends on your take on it, you could get a Sailor Jerry tattoo, because there's lots of great tattoo shops up and down downtown here. So a lot of fun to be had on First Friday. Jesse Amorosa, Michael Mack, Chad Forrester, you guys have been awesome today. I'm Dave Carney. And for everybody back at the Beasley Studios, thanks so much for joining us on a Friday. We'll be back with you here next Friday, 1 o'clock on News Talk 720 KDWN.
Hiding crooked or missing teeth can affect your personal and professional life. Smile with confidence again with the help of AQ Denture. AQ stands for affordable quality, helping Southern Nevadans since 1975. Whether you need bridges, crowns, dental implants, or denture repair, AQ now offers the latest technology to create the best denture or implant fit. If you're having problems with your teeth and you don't know what to do, pick up the phone and call AQ. 702-565-6000. That's 702-565-6000.
Dave Carney here, inviting you to the all-new Live Las Vegas with me and my new co-host, Chad Forster. Every Friday from 1 till 2, Chad and I break down top Vegas news, sports from around the country, and entertainment in a really fun way. Yeah, that's right, talk radio can actually be fun. Live Las Vegas every Friday at 1.
Listen to John Brislin live for the best in political talk Saturday nights from 9 to 10 p.m. John Brislin hits hard and tells it like it is. The only way to turn double talk into straight talk. Call in Saturday nights from 9 to 10 p.m. with John Brislin live on Newstalk 720 KDWN.
It's the North Las Vegas Independence Day Jubilee, Carnival, and Art, Craft, and Vendor Fair on July 3rd in North Las Vegas at Craig Ranch Park at 628 West Craig Road. Live entertainment, fireworks, a full-size carnival.